Hi to my sweet community. I'm Nyla, if you haven't been here before. Otherwise, welcome back. And I would love to take you through a little yoga reset today. So a way to reset your body, it's kind of cozy, to be honest. It's like a cozy feeling, especially if you're feeling, I don't know, overwhelmed or a little bit like I want to move my body, but I don't want anything too intense. And I just want to feel good and ground down. And this is a great way to do that. It's also a nice little postural reset too, because we'll be bringing a little bit of mobility back into your body. So whenever you're ready, you can come to join me in this seated position. So we're just going to sit nice and tall, grounding into our sit bones and reaching through the crown of your head here. So any seat that feels comfortable for you. And then we'll just start by closing down our eyes. And then see if you can really balloon your belly as you inhale here. So think of inflating the abdomen, and then the ribs, and then the chest. And then as you exhale, releasing through all three of those areas. And we're going to take 3 more rounds of breath like that. So breathing in to the belly, you can take your palms here. Then into the ribs, and then following the breath towards your sternum, exhaling, releasing. And then coming into a few more rounds like that at your own pace. See how much you can really inflate each of those regions, one at a time. And then hopefully you're already feeling a little bit more in tune with yourself here. From here, we're going to take our left hand down to the ground. So you can take your left hand to the earth and then just tip your right ear to your right shoulder here. So we're just going to come into a little bit of a neck stretch here. If you want to play with hovering your hand and taking an active flex through your hand too, through your wrist, you might notice that that feels like a little bit more intense for you. If it feels intense in the bad way, then just ease off, come back to your tented fingertips and take your head a little bit closer to center. So just stay in the range that feels nice for you and take a few breaths into the side of the neck here, where you feel the most sensation. And then as you exhale, you can gently tip your chin a little bit closer to your chest. So now you're moving the sensation towards the back side of the neck, and maybe down towards the shoulder. And then coming into another round of breath here. And then exhaling, taking your head back to center. This time taking your right hand down to the earth. And you guessed it, tipping your left ear to your left shoulder. Again, you can play with the positioning of your hand here, taking it to a hover and maybe flexing through the wrist, seeing how that changes it for you and if it's a good or a bad thing. And you just stay in the range that feels good for you without being too grippy or pulley, officially in those terms. And then you can tip your chin towards your chest a bit, changing the sensation towards the back side of the neck, and taking another round of breath here. Full breath in and out. And then taking another inhale. Exhaling your head back to center. And then once you arrive here, you can take your hands to touch, interlacing your fingers and keeping your index fingers touching and released. And then reach your arms up to the sky with an inhale. Then as you exhale, we're going to bend towards the left. Keeping a soft bend into the elbows, grounding again through your seat. And then breathing into the right side body here. Feeling that big extension through the right side. And then taking it a little bit further. And then inhaling again through center. You can release your shoulders again here into the sockets. And then exhale over to the right. This time extending the left side body and closing through the right side. And again, taking a nice full breath cycle here. Maybe exhaling to melt a bit more into your bend. And then coming all the way back through center and pressing your palms down towards the earth. And then while you're here, you can keep your hands interlaced as if you're pressing energy down away into the ground, and then inhaling, circling your arms up. Your gaze can follow, inviting new energy, and then exhaling, palms to touch. Interlace your palms and your fingers and press your palms down. Again, inhale, circle and sweep your arms up. Exhale, palms to touch, flipping the palms and interlacing them, pressing down towards the earth. And then finding 3 more rounds like that. And exhale. Reach with an inhale. Exhale to press. And then one last time. And then from here, you can stay where you are. And then take the fingertips towards your shoulders. So they're going to tent on your shoulders here. And then as you inhale, circle your arms forward or elbows forward and around. Just gently hugging or holding onto the caps of your shoulder here. And making circles. And then we're going to reverse the direction from here. Around, down, coming back up. And shoulder blades come together and down your back. And then one last time like that. And then let your ears gently elevate towards let your shoulders elevate gently towards your ears, and then let them come down. I don't know how your ears would elevate. That would be a very special talent. Inhaling, shoulders to ears. Exhale, melt them away. And then 2 more. Imagine growing taller with every exhale. And down. Nice work. We're going to move over and transition towards our hands and knees here. So coming towards your quadruped or tabletop position. Once you land here, you can right away take your belly down towards the earth. Just make sure your wrists are in line with your shoulders. Knees in line with hips, and then let your belly come towards the earth, sit bones spread, and take your gaze forward and up. And then as you exhale, round your tailbone under, pressing into your palms, looking towards your thighs. And then inhale, belly down, sit bones widen, and chest reaches forward and up. Exhale, rounding away. And from this point, feel free to add any additional movement on here. So maybe you want to add in a circle around towards your hips and then through the shoulders as you kind of undulate the spine. Completely up to you if it felt better just to stay in that traditional cat-cow. Whatever feels good for you here. You can add that kind of gentle sway and rounding of the spine. And then extending the spine. And then just whichever variation or whatever feels good in your body, let yourself move intuitively for another 2 breath cycles here. So just let it kind of flow as feels good for you. Maybe even from side to side. And then one last round. And then from here, we'll come back to meet in a neutral spine. And then you can right away take your right arm, reaching it up towards the sky, floating your fingertips, opening up through the right chest and ribs. And then exhale as you weave your right arm under left here, taking your ear towards the earth, settling into this thread the needle. If it feels comfortable in your body, you can always wrap your left hand around towards your right hip for a little bit more rotation. And then we're just staying in this gentle rotation through the spine, shoulder stretch as you stay here. Noticing that you're in a slight inversion, so you may feel a little bit more increased blood flow and oxygen back towards your heart and your head here. And then taking another full breath cycle. And then as you exhale, come all the way back into center. taking your left arm towards the sky this time, floating your fingertips up, and then weaving the left arm under right, coming towards the earth again here. Feeling into that twist, tuning into your body here with no rush to move or change position. Again, maybe wrapping the hand around towards your hip if that felt good for you in your body. And then letting yourself settle into this as you take another 2 breath cycles here. And then as you exhale, you can come all the way back, unwinding towards your center line, towards your midline. And then right away, pressing into your palms, tucking your toes, walking your knees back a little bit. And then as you exhale, taking your knees and floating them off the ground, reaching your hips towards the sky, coming into a downward facing dog here. So stay in your downward facing dog. And then once you're here, really think about pressing the heels towards the earth and lifting a little bit higher with your hips. You may need to bend the knees a little bit to find more length to the spine here. But find what works for you. And then just stay here for a full breath cycle. Settling into the pose, seeing how much you can lift your hips and lower the heels simultaneously. And then you can bend into one knee and then the other. So you're kind of just walking out or pedaling the knees here. Keep switching sides. You can even let your head come from side to side as you do this. Sorry if I keep coming out of frame here. You're just going to keep bending into one knee and then the other, letting the head sway. And then coming to your stillness again, and then gently lowering your knees to the ground, looking forward on your mat, and then coming all the way down to your belly. So we'll meet on our tummies here. And then from here, we're gonna just take our fingertips in line with our shoulders. So fingertips in line with your shoulders, forehead down. And then as you take an inhale from here, press into your palms and roll your heart forward and up, looking towards the front of the mat here. And then exhale as you lower back down, ribs to forehead towards the earth. So you can come as high as you like here or as low as you like. Think of drawing the shoulder blades back and really reaching your heart forward with your inhale. And then exhale, you come down again. If you want to take your hands a little bit further forward and come into more of a full cobra here, you can do that too. Or you can stay in your baby cobra as we come into 2 more rounds. And we'll alternate, and you can do what feels good for your body. And then last one. And lowering back towards the earth. And then once you get here, we're going to press into your palms, sending your hips back to your child's pose here. So to begin with, keep your thighs and knees together if you can. Just around the spine, finding opposition here after moving into your front and your extension. And then see here if you can really fill the back of the ribs with air, feeling them open up as you breathe in. And as you exhale, feeling them close together. Hugging into yourself here, surrendering your forehead down and giving yourself another full breath. And then you can gently transition all the way down towards your belly again. Stacking your palms one on top of the other here. We're going to hold a static pose for a little bit. So forehead can come to hands. And then you can glide your left knee out towards the left side of the room, bending into the knee so that your knee is in line with your hip and your ankle is in line with your knee here. And then once you're here, you can have your head turned one way, or you can have your forehead on your hands, whatever feels best for you. And then here we'll stay for about 5 breaths. So really allow your front body to release into the earth underneath you. See if you can let your shoulders stay relaxed and see if you can notice that gentle opening towards the left hip as you stay here in this half frog position. Slow your breaths down as you come into another 3 breaths here for yourself. Breathing into the space within your body. as you exhale, you can take your left leg long. Give yourself a little sway of the hips into the ground to reset here. And then you can come to glide your right knee out to the right side of the room. If your head was turned one way, then just turn it the other way this time so you can even out your neck. Or you can stay with your forehead down to your hands. Relaxing here, again, releasing through all the front body, letting the muscles, tissues, ligaments soften underneath you. And opening into the right hip crease, right hip flexors this time as you breathe and ground down for another 4 breath cycles here. And then you can gently come to extend your right leg back. Again, giving yourself that shift through the hips. Maybe it feels nice to bend your knees here towards your heels towards your bum. And then give yourself a sway of the knees here, like a reverse windshield wiper. And then you can release your feet to the ground, coming up to your forearms for a moment so you can press yourself up towards an all fours position. Walk your knees back a tiny bit and then step your left foot forward here. And then you can kind of shuffle your foot in towards center. And then with your right palm down, as you inhale, take your left arm up towards the sky. And then exhale, take it back down alongside you. And then you can play around with the back knee here. If you need to move it closer to you, feel free. Try to keep your knee and ankle kind of roughly in line here. And then reach up and release again. Doing that one more time. And closing down. And then from here, you can take your left hand back into center, walk your left foot out to the side, and then just gently press towards the left thigh for a moment here. Maybe even coming to the outer edge of your left foot. Your right toes can stay tucked or untucked. And then you can gently take your left leg, walk it all the way back. So it's coming back to meet your right here, giving yourself a sway of the tail from side to side. And then coming to step your right foot forward. Again, towards center. And then from here, your right arm can reach up towards the sky. And then as you exhale, taking it back down towards the earth. And you can take 2 more like that, playing with your positioning here. If you need to fold your mat to give your knees some support, you can do that too. Reach up and release. And then one more time, full inhale. And exhale. And then your right foot can walk out towards the right side of your mat. Again, you can gently press towards the right thigh, coming maybe towards the outer edge of your right foot this time. And just taking a nice full breath here, wherever you feel sensation, maybe into inner thigh, hip, groin. And then gently releasing, taking your hand back to the earth and your knee back in space. And then we're going to transition all the way to our bum and then all the way down to a reclined position on our back. So when you're ready, making your way down towards the earth, landing towards your back here. And then once you arrive on your back, you can just come to cross your right ankle over left thigh here. So we're coming into a little figure 4. And if it feels good, you can just stay here, pressing maybe towards the right thigh. Or you can interlace your hands, taking them behind your left thigh and lifting your left knee off the ground here. Whichever one you're in, just let your shoulder blades stay heavy and your head stay heavy here. And take another 3 breaths. And you can release your left foot down if it was lifted. Unwind ankle from knee. Take your arms nice and wide and then windshield wiper your knees from side to side. So take them over to one side, swaying them, and then over to the other side. And you can take it nice and slow at a nice gentle cadence here, just so you can kind of slow the movement, slow the mind simultaneously, so that you're really kind of present, even though you may have done this movement hundreds of times before. Feeling into the release each time, and whatever you notice through the torso as well. And then next time you sway to center, this time you can come to cross left ankle over right thigh. And it may be different on this side. So maybe you just want to chill here, maybe gently pressing to the left thigh. Or you can interlace hands behind right thigh this time, lifting your leg off the ground. Again, grounding into shoulder blades and head as you stay here. Taking another 3 breath cycles like this. And then exhale to release your foot down. You can unwind your ankle from knee here. And then gently come to face your left or right side. So curl up into a gentle little fetal position, releasing your back from the ground here and taking a nice full breath cycle, hugged in, feeling your body's warmth, giving your body a moment of acknowledgement and breathing into the back of the spine and the ribs. Taking one more breath like that. And then you can start to transition back towards a seated position. And once you arrive in a seated position of your choice, just doing an internal tune-in, check-in here, noticing how your body is feeling now versus when you started, and even how your mind is feeling. So maybe you can notice there's a bit more space there, or a little maybe gentle sense of calmness that you can hopefully carry through your day. And that concludes your little mini yoga reset. I hope you have a wonderful day ahead and carry this feeling around with you. Thanks for joining me again.